So, one work in an office with a mixed range of ages. We have a few new starters who have just graduated, so around 23, 24ths by the looks of their faces. Anyway, it's been a few months and we message each other at work for work stuff. Nothing personal, I sometimes just reply with a thumbs up, which just means got it or cheers. I just got a message from HR to politely ask me to stop sending the thumbs up emoji, so love stopped. Wasn't sure if it's an age thing or where they think it's being some sort of passive aggressive, which isn't from my side. I'm just confirming what they said with a thumbs up. I've had slightly younger colleagues tell me how much they hate the thumbs up emoji. They're usually about 25 or so. I think it's seen as slightly sarcastic or non-committal. I've taken to using the tortoise emoji, which they are apparently fine with. I'd actually be tempted to go back to HR. The younger employees also need to understand that people will communicate differently depending on their generation. I had a manager that would just reply okay and nothing else sometimes. To me, that sounds passive-aggressive, but I prefer to just assume basic messages like that are sent with no ill intent. Worst case, I'm not bothered by someone's attempt to upset me, and more likely, I understood it correctly. Sometimes I ask for a thumbs up if people have read the message and are in agreement. It stops there from being a long chain of responses which don't add anything and push the more important message out of sight. To answer your question about the dumbest thing I've seen at work, a team with 2 co-managers and a team leader to supervise and manage 7 people. When I was at uni, I worked in a newsagent. We often had fragrant customers. We would spray a bit of air freshener around the shop to try and mask the smell until we could air out the shop. My colleague, who was partially blind, got the air freshener mixed up with a can of shaving gel that somehow ended up on the staff shelf. She sprayed it everywhere around the shop. Apparently, the cleanup took ages. Some partners thought the time wasted in using emojis would be better used on our actual work. Because you know that 3 M/s it takes me to type an emoji is definitely longer than typing yes, got it, thank you. Bonkers. They want us to be more productive, then maybe they shouldn't overload our workload. I've seen the classic print PDF scan to PDF attach PDF to email once. In fairness, they were noting a few pages. Still probably didn't need printing. I'm not in IT support, but walked in on a problem once. The office person's mouse was moving on the screen without her doing it. She was showing someone else. They were remarking how weird it was. Unplug dock, handoff, etc. I asked what was in the set of drawers below her desk. Sure enough, the Bluetooth mouse turned on. I once worked at a company that made little devices for temperature monitoring. I put one in the kitchen fridge to test it was working over an entire workday with a big note taped to it. Please don't remove it from the fridge. You already know that I came back at the end of the day to find it sat on the countertop. I had to redo it. But our executive thought he'd had this brilliant idea a few years ago of using Al in our product and called everyone into a meeting. Engineering kept an open mind, but it turned out that was the entire idea. The rest of the meeting was spent watching the executive talk himself into doing nothing about his brilliant idea, as brilliant as it was. Bizarre. Customer asked if X could be fixed, added, I told them you'd have it done by end of week to give you some time. That's not possible to fix. Or, that's a month of work for the team. But I've said it now. Yeah, you haven't you. I got the thumbs up as a closing message from someone at a supplier, and it didn't feel, I suppose, appropriate to me. I thanked the guy for his help, sincerely, and I just got a thumbs up back. In lots of other cases, it's absolutely sound. I suppose the issue is how it's construed from person to person. It's definitely not an HR issue though. On another note, there's a company in Bradford that we buy air and GRP manufacturing parts off, and all of their emails are in Comic Sans. I'm assuming they're actually clowns. The CS team at a place I work at had a guy in to do a team building day. The guy's last name was Wood, and he'd signed off on an email as Woody. Somehow, this got misconstrued around the office that it was a Toy Story themed day. There was a lady who just started that obviously wanted to make the effort and be a team player, and turned up in full-on Woody from Toy Story costume, complete with inflatable horse on a rubber ring thing. Some others that had put half the effort in quickly removed their clobber when they found out what was going on, but this new starter was just left completely hung out to dry. She left, soon after, understandably. We had a survey company doing on-site core drilling. Their vans had a dinosaur logo on. We told the apprentice that they were digging for dinosaur bones. He spent the whole day watching them. The other week, I got to watch a new starter walk straight past the door for a meeting room and into the window of the meeting room as they assumed the window was the door. The door was brown with a small window, nameplate, and handle, whereas the window was floor to ceiling with black panes. Given I work in a call center, it was a struggle not to burst out laughing on my call. I worked at a place that had a cold store. 2 entrances. We were told the one day we could no longer use the one entrance as we were in danger of being hit by stacker trucks. If anyone was found using this entrance, disciplinary action would be taken. Around a week later, we were told the same thing about the other entrance. Again, disciplinary action would be taken. That afternoon, we had a breakdown in a cold store. When we mentioned we could not actually get into the cold store as we would trigger some kind of disciplinary action, we were then accused of being awkward and told we could use any entrance we liked. That's so weird. In my office, which is a mix of employees and contractors from a range of different and large companies, a thumbs up is normal and means message received or okay, depending on context. Our very English global CEO sent an all-staff email labeled urgent staff announcement about something corporate, noting that popular rumors about the company were untrue. He ended it with, "Let's crack on." One woman in an obscure branch office of the company somewhere in the deep south of the USA forwarded the message onto her husband saying, "And you think you work for sketchy people? Let's crack on?" Oh, jolly hockey sticks. Except, of course, she'd not sent it to her husband, but to several thousand staff around the world. To which, this being pre-2014, a Russian guy replied, also to all staff, "Sorry, what does it mean? Hockey sticks?" It gave us all a great laugh, and thinking about it years later, still does. The woman who sent the initial email even got name-checked by the CEO at the company's London Christmas do.